All right, let's talk about moving your data over to Google Cloud. I know it can feel like this huge, overwhelming project, but it really doesn't have to be. Today, we're going to break it all down and turn what seems like a massive challenge into a clear, strategic playbook. Let's jump right in.
So you're staring at this mountain of data, terabytes, maybe even petabytes, and it all needs a new home. The first thought is probably, where on earth do I even start? Well, the answer is simpler than you think. You start with a solid plan. It's all about breaking it down into steps you can actually manage.
You know, the best way to think about data migration is to just imagine you're moving house. You wouldn't just start randomly throwing things in boxes, right? Of course not. You'd figure out what stuff you have, decide which room it's all going into in the new place, and then figure out the logistics of getting it there. We're going to use that exact same logic today.
Okay, first things first. Just like deciding which box is for the kitchen and which one's headed to the bedroom, we need to map our data to the right service in Google Cloud. This is all about matching the job to the right tool. So if you're running those classic applications with your standard relational databases, your OLTP systems that store everything in nice, neat tables, their new home is going to be a managed service like Cloud SQL or the super high-performance AlloyDB. The beauty of this is you get all the reliability and scale you need without the headache of managing the infrastructure yourself.
Now for the really heavy lifting. All of your massive analytics workloads, your giant data warehouses, they have a perfect, purpose-built home in GCP, and its name is BigQuery. This thing is an absolute beast, designed for incredibly fast queries on enormous datasets. It's the perfect spot for your analytical engine.
And what about, well, everything else? All those files that don't fit into tables, like images, videos, backups, you name it? That's exactly what cloud storage is for. Think of it as your infinitely huge, super durable garage or storage unit in the cloud. It's flexible, cheap, and secure.
Okay, so we know what we're moving and we know where it's going. Now for the really crucial question, how do we actually get it there? And this decision, well, it pretty much all comes down to one critical factor: downtime.
You've basically got two main ways you can go here. In online migration, that's like moving house one room at a time while you're still living there. It keeps the disruption to a minimum, but yeah, it's definitely more complicated to pull off. Then you have the offline migration. This is way simpler. You pack everything up, shut down the old house for a bit, and move it all in one go. It's straightforward, but it means your application is going to be unavailable for a while.
And let's be super clear about what we mean here. Downtime is that period when your app is just offline, unavailable to your users. And believe me, this single factor is going to be the biggest influence on your entire migration strategy, from the tools you pick to the schedule you set. It's everything.
See, this isn't just a tech question. It's a fundamental business question. You have to sit down and ask, how much downtime can our operation actually handle? An hour? 5 minutes? 0. Your answer to that question is what's going to decide your entire path forward.
So, with our destinations all mapped out and our tolerance for downtime clearly defined, it's time to actually do this thing. Let's get into the playbook and see how this all comes together for a successful move.
Any successful migration really follows 4 clear phases. First, you discover a new plan, so you know exactly what you're up against and there are no nasty surprises. Second, you move and replicate the data over to GCP. Third, and this is a big one, you validate to make sure everything arrived perfectly. And finally, you do the cutover, which is when you flip the switch and send all your traffic to the new system.
I honestly cannot say this loudly enough. Data validation is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. You have to have a way to check that every bit and byte of data that landed in GCP is a perfect match with where it came from. If you skip this step, you're just asking for a world of pain. Corrupted data, broken apps, and nobody trusting the new system. Don't do it.
Whew, all right. We've covered a ton of ground. So let's boil all of this down into a simple, actionable checklist that you can take right back to your team.
So here it is, the core playbook. 1. Identify all your data sources. 2. Map each of those sources to the right GCP service: Cloud SQL, BigQuery, Cloud Storage. 3. Decide on your downtime tolerance, which tells you if you're going online or offline. 4. Plan out that validation process like your job depends on it, because it kind of does. And 5. Define exactly how you're going to handle the final cutover. That's it. That's your path to success.
And just like that, you've moved house. The migration's done. Your data has a new home. But the real question now is, what are you going to build in it? Now that your data is running on a platform as powerful and as scalable as GCP, what new insights will you find? What new things will you create? The move, that's just the beginning.